There we go. Alright. Sorry everybody that is here right now about the delay. Had some technical issues with my stupid phone. Let's see here. I'm trying a new angle tonight. Let's see if this works or not. Come on. Come on. Tighten that up there. Alright. Yeah. Alright, we can see that. It looks good. We got anybody in the room yet? Hello, honey badger. How are you today? The tablet situated here. Where is... See how it looks on my tablet. See how my video looks on the tablet. Yeah, because I'm gonna try to keep a stream up as well, just so I can see everything. No, I meant like on my, so I could crap, so I could see how my video looks and stuff. So trying to maneuver things around here a little bit. All right. Okay, let me move this data cable out of my way. Way to good to go. I got me a tin whistle this week. My kids can't stand it. I love it. Anyway. Alright. Alright, guys. So last week, I talked a little bit about the stuff you can make basing from. And this week, I had the opportunity to get some basing material. First of all, I'm going to show you what I'm working on here. So, I am working on this. This is from a Star Wars board game for Fantasy Flight. So, the miniature is not as great as it would be if it was a higher end model, which is fine. If you can look at the basing here, the basing material looks like stone. I did paint it gray. I mean, brown. Literally, this didn't cost me anything. Oh, wait. And that camera's acting goofy. Hold on. Alright, there we go. So, what this material is, let me show you unpainted. This wonderful bag of material I have here. I don't know if you all know what this is. This right here, I decided to clean my gutters this week. And so, like, this is a material that comes off your roofing tiles, like especially new ones, because we just had ours done a while back and I hadn't cleaned them since we had new tiles put on there. So this is the rock that is on your roofing tiles. All I did was run water and get all the like leaves, little bit of leaf out of it, and then I dried it off. And I have like 1.5 pounds of material to base stuff with. Mix that with a little bit of sand and you're good to go. Just like a quick base material. So it's just it's just trying to save you all some money on this stuff. You know, I know it's kind of weird me using stuff like that you could find in the house, and that literally was like trash. I mean, that was stuff out of my gutter. Actually, I'm not going to use this tonight. Okay. So, I did promise everybody that we are going to work on faces today. And we are. I got a miniature that was big enough to where we could see it on the camera. Excuse me, guys. And we are going to do her face. I did go ahead, and this is the miniature. She is a genie from Reaper. If you can see, she does have a bigger face here, so we will be able to work with her face some. Now, what I've already done here is I've airbrushed her with a basic flesh tone. Actually, the color I went with was Barbarian Flesh from Army Painter, and we'll be using that in Elven Flesh today. And then I have done some highlights on her a little bit, not too much. And I used a contrast paint down here because I really suck at smoke. So I was wanting to see what I could do with the contrast paint. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on her face. And if we can get her face done tonight, we are going to work on the rest of her and try to knock her out today. But the only paint that I'm going to use on her face is going to be these two colors here from Army Painter, Elven Flesh and Barbarian Flesh, and a soft tone, not a flesh wash. I'm not going to use a flesh wash on her because her curves are more rounded, so we're going to need something a little softer to deal with. And the rest of the colors for her, I am going to use, I went and spent $5 at Walmart, and I got us some really cool paints that we're going to paint miniatures with, because I've always said that you can use almost any paint to paint miniatures with, and I matched up the best I could of getting a decent paint range together of what you would get in a basic paint set from companies. And let's see here, and of course I got a white and a black as well. Then this color here is nickel. This is pretty much plate mail from Army Painter. This color, as it dries, it's a dark, or a lead belcher. It's a dark metallic. We're going to use that tonight. We're going to use a gold. I got a gold here. This is an older one I've had. Now this looks weird. I'll show you this. So if you look at this actual paint, I don't see if you can see it up there, but it's yellowish. You don't really see metallic sheen to it too much, but when that dries, you have a metallic sheen like that. Now see, here's the thing about these paints. If you ever get a craft paint, you're going to notice that you don't really need to shake it up unless it's old and it's been sitting on the shelf for a long time. And the reason being is the medium that they use is really thick, so that allows for the pigment to be suspended a little bit better. And tonight what we are going to use to thin it down, because you always thin your paints, especially craft paint, is a medium thinner. The Citadel brand would be called Lanum Medium. Lanum Medium. So I made some. Okay, so as far as pigment quality, the only time I worry about pigment quality on craft paints is if I'm shooting it through an airbrush, because you can't get it through an airbrush very well because the pigment is bigger. Okay, we will play around with this tonight, and I will show you that it is not as bad as people make it out to be. So as long as we do this correctly, I will say this is now my new favorite color right now, toasted marshmallow. This is my ivory. It's gonna be my ivory, and if you mix it with a little bit of brown, the chestnut brown, you can make flesh out of it. But no, as far as so here's the thing about shooting it through an airbrush. Because the medium is so thick, it takes a lot to thin it down to get it to shoot through an airbrush. But if you're taking it down to an Army Painter or a Vallejo thickness, you're not going to have any issues with it. You shouldn't have any problems at all. You realize you always have to do 2 thin coats, 2 or 3 thin coats. Sorry, I stole it from Dustin Rhodes, but yeah, you have to use a few thin coats anyway to build your color up. So, but we'll play around with that tonight, and you could try it out. I mean, literally, I spent $5 on these paints. The metallics, I have noticed that the Folk Art and the Apple Barrel metallics, actually, the older ones used to have a larger mica particles in them, so you could see it a little bit better. They've actually gotten a lot better on their metallics than this, so we should be good for that. Now, this medium. This is literally a bottle of water with about 5 drops of matte medium. Dries clear. Whenever you want to water paint down, you should always use a medium like this, or I sometimes use airbrush flow aid. So you can do whichever you want to do. So we're going to attempt this face tonight. Let me give this paint a little stir here. And if you have questions, I know I didn't really answer that pigment quality thing, but I'm not worried about it at all. I grew up painting with craft paint, and really the only reason why I switched over was for airbrushing. So I just made a line of the elven flesh, and I'm going to make a line of the barbarian flesh. I'm actually going to fix something on her real quick. Got a mess over here with my brushes. So, wet my brush, break the soap up, it's in it. So I got like a little splatter, you probably don't notice it very well, of a lighter color right here. I will say I usually don't paint models like this. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're kind of blending the paint colors together. So I'm taking it dark here and bringing it up into the elven flesh. So here we go. Okay, now we're going to let that sit for just a second. We have one other thing we've got to do before we do this. I'm going to get a little bit of this white. Put it right here because I will need some white in this flesh. I'm going to take a drop of my on the white here of the medium that I made. We're going to mix it up here. So see that flows fairly well. I could probably use a little bit more matte medium in that. So let's see here. What we're going to do is we're going to make a mess, and I'm going to switch brushes. A little bit too big. I'm going to do her teeth and her eyes real quick. What color eyes does she have outside the white? Because this is a larger model, and I've never really painted irises before, so I'm going to attempt to paint an iris tonight. What colors should I go with? Anyone? I was thinking of blue, maybe green. So what we're going to do here with we could be a little messy with this, okay? This isn't, because we're going to come back in and clean this up. But we take this white and we just paint in the eye sockets. Okay? And she is a genie. Okay? And we're going to come back. We're going to paint the teeth. She is a buck-tooth genie. Okay, so that's our first thing we're going to do. I'm going to blow on her eyes real quick, draw them out. Okay, and one more coat on the eyes. My hands are kind of shaking today. I've been working on the house. So, we're going to let that dry a little bit. Okay, we'll mix an eye color up here. It's go with the primary blue. Get some out. This is an older one. There we go. Drop of that. I'm going to take a little bit of purple, metallic purple. Okay. Or amethyst, as we call it. We'll mix these two together. She's a magical creature, so therefore she can have a little magical eyes. A bit thick, which is fine. Let me get my airbrush out of this pot. I need to clean it. Put you right there. Let you dry. Okay, drop a medium right here. I just want to mix it up with this big brush. Now, so this was going to be a little hard for me, and the reason being is I'm not used to painting curvy things like this as far as like faces go. I'm used to the rough, gruff faces of an adventurer. So we're going to have fun with this tonight. So let's see here. So we'll put a little of that bluish purple there. And dot right there. I don't know if I can get the pupil today. Okay, that's good. Alright, now we'll come back in a little bit with this. I know that gets a lot of people are like, oh, he just stuck his brush in his mouth. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to take that base flesh tone and I'm going to retrace the eye. Lips here. This is where we had painted her teeth. So let's see if you can see that a little bit better. Get a little bit on her eyelid here. So let's bring it in. So how's everybody doing tonight? Not everybody all at once. Okay. I'm trying to edge my way down onto that eyelid. Get it on her eye. I think it's probably going to be the best I can do at the moment. Now I will say Friday I will be painting on Norse Foundry's Twitch channel Friday night. They're supposed to be sending me some of their miniatures. If y'all want to check that out. If not, it's fine. It's the time should be around 8 o'clock. Same time we do it here. So it'll be 8 o'clock Eastern time, should be. But if they don't send me any of their miniatures in time, I will be painting this guy here. After I finish cleaning him up some and priming him. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of this medium here and I'm going to work it into this color. that we've created. And let's see here. So we've kind of got a darker shade of the, well, lighter than what her base tones are. So I'm going to work on her forehead here. I'm just it's going to stay wet, just fine. And then I'm going to bring it down the bridge of her nose. And then I'm going to work on her cheeks. So we do that. We're going to come in and do her chin. And I'll do a little bit on the bottom of her mouth there. Then I'm going to clean that out a little bit. While it's still wet, I'm going to come up a little bit and grab a lighter color. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing again, but I'm only going to work it in a little bit in the middle, bring it in a little bit tighter. Take it down the bridge of her nose again, but to the tip. And then we're going to do her cheeks again. Okay. Just like popping it in the middle on her cheeks, on that upper lip a little bit. Okay. And we're going to come in again. And then we're going to bring it into the middle again. Okay. And then we're going to touch that nose. Touch the cheeks just in the tip. Bottom there. That lip again. Okay. Now you can see that her face is kind of bright, which is fine. We'll have to actually blend it in a little bit better with a glaze, possibly. But that essentially is how you do faces. And I know that was a lot shorter than what we thought, but we still have a lot of details to work on. So, let's see here. Let me get to painting her a little bit here. Let's see here. Let's bring a little bit of this here. Get the nape of her neck. Probably can't see it too well. Get it right here. We're doing some shadowing. Bring a little darker color to get these shadows in. So what I'm taking now is tanned flesh, and I'm gonna let her face dry before we start working on it again. So I'm gonna take this tanned flesh here, and I'm gonna work it into this barbarian flesh a little bit, and we're gonna do the same thing we just did, but backwards a little bit. So, because we've got to get her shadowing here in her bosom. Get that a little darker there. Clean the brush off on. A little bit darker. So the thing about painting miniatures is you have to exaggerate what you're doing, especially for a small scale, because it kind of brings everything out a little bit better as you exaggerate it. So let's see here. Get that dark color there. Now we're going to come back up to our lighter colors. And we're going to come in here. turn it up to 11. Just make it pop. Here. And then we'll let it dry. So, yeah, question was just asked in my ear that kind of like we had exaggerated things in comic book art just to kind of pronounce stuff. The same thing with miniatures, like a 28 millimeter scale miniature, the head, eyes, hands, feet are bigger than what the actual true scale should be. So it's just the way it is, because if it was actual true to scale, we wouldn't be able to see details. We wouldn't be able to do anything with it. I mean, it'd be hard to paint at that small. And there's a few companies, Maniac Miniatures or Maniac Games. They're Maniac Games. They are actually true 28 millimeter scale, and it's kind of hard to paint their miniatures, especially around the hands and stuff. So now I'm going to bring this down here again. So, okay, we're going to let this all dry here. Now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take some red, and this is red apple. I'm going to mix it. I'm going to grab some of this elven flesh and a little bit of this red apple. Okay. A little bit more of the elven flesh. Okay. And what we're going to do is make her lips red-ish pink. So, come around here. So did y'all hear about the Conan rights that Troll Lord just got? Yeah, it's gonna be epic. I love Conan. I'll darken this up a little bit. Let me go check my spectacles here. Just make sure I've got it in the lines. Yeah, so Conan, I really wish they'd come out with an RPG. I got the Modifius, but I can't really get anybody in here to play it, because it's the 2D20 system and it's too complicated for a lot of people. Just want to give everybody the look. Okay, so we're going to come in here, clean up a little bit of this right here around her lip. Here. Currently her upper lip looks like she was experimenting with lipstick. So bring in a little bit of this elven flesh here. Somebody is literally calling me. Thought I turned my phone off. Sorry, guys. Okay, now we'll take a little bit of this red and we'll add just a little bit more of the elven flesh to it. Okay. I'm going to try to come up in here and get her eyelid. And see, I didn't do a good job cleaning her hand up. I don't know why I didn't. This again is a Reaper miniature, and it's that nasty plastic that I hate so much. Okay, we put a little bit of red on her eyes. Now I'm going to take a little bit of glazed medium here. Okay. And we need this for a couple different options tonight. So I'm going to put a drop here because I'm going to use it for later. Put a drop over here. Alright. Now, I need to mix it with a little bit of this medium that we made. Okay. We're going to make a little bit of a, bring a little bit more red here. We're going to glaze just a little bit. We'll put a little bit on our cheeks. Here, not too much. Okay. Alright, and we're going to let that dry. Now, alright, so what I have just essentially done on her boobs, sorry, yeah, the 15-year-old in me came out. Her boobs and her face was a wet blend, okay? And we've exaggerated the blend a little bit, and we're going to let this dry a little bit longer. And then what we're going to do is take a glaze, and we're going to make a glaze out of that elven flesh, a really thin glaze, and we are going to coat the entirety of that with it. So we'll mix that up here in just a second. So let me put my "you ain't gonna dry out on me" lid right here. Now, so here's the thing that I would do as well. So we're going to take a little bit of the soft tone, shake it up some, and we're going to put it in certain areas. I'm going to try something here. So where her body meets her, I guess her loincloth, we're going to run some of this soft tone down here to separate these two. We're going to run it down here as well on her little tassel. Sorry guys, I thought that was in shot. I'm going to put some right here. Now, I did airbrush the flesh on her. And you may be asking how I did that. By keeping these colors separate. I used blue tack where I wanted a line to be. So, and you'll see that this tone here is actually a lot darker than the flesh, which is fine. So we're just going to mix it down with a little bit of water, because this will actually be the color that we will wash this in the end. Because I do want to bring her colors a little bit darker. So this is fine. So, you know, I can do this now if I want to do it this way. Let's grab a little bit more of this elven flesh. My medium. Go along here. So I can come back here if I wanted to and start painting her leg a little bit. Just down that thigh and around here on her calf. Okay. I did it on her hand as well. So just picking out the stuff that would have a little bit more light on it. Okay, her thighs here a little bit. Her thighs, but her side. Okay. Come up here with her hand. So she's got a ring on. Yeah, she's got armbands on, she's got rings. So now I'll come in here again, lighten this color up some. Okay. Get back in here, tighten it up a little bit more. Let's water it down a little bit more. When we water it down, again, we're making it a little bit more transparent. The key with her legs is to try to keep that a non-jagged line. So, and I know it looks kind of loud this way. So we're going to do that again right there, right there, right there, there. I don't have to worry about her butt. I airbrushed that earlier. Listen, guys, I'm using scientific terms here. Y'all shouldn't be laughing. Okay, so we've kind of got that out. It looks like it's popping a little bit too much, but again, we're going to fix that. Could just come in here a little bit. Maybe about all I'm going to do on her up there. So this is where we're at with her right now. So do you want to put a line right here? That helps me when I go in to paint the brassiere. Yes, I use terms like that. Okay, so I'm gonna, as she's drying here real quick, so I'm going to attempt to paint this area here white. This is like a piece of cloth coming down. Same here. I'm gonna paint, this is like an owl. These are like owls here. So I'm going to paint that in that nickel color, and then I'm going to do like the accents of it in the gold. This tassel I'm going to paint red. Cool trick I'll show you with that one here in just a second if it should work. She does have flowers on her, and I am going to paint those white with probably a blue center. I'm not really sure yet. Her hair I've yet to figure it out. Now this is going to be mostly gold and silver. This sword is. I've not figured out which one I'm going to do it with yet. So let's take some more of this soft tone, and then we're just going to paint over her tassel real quick. And this is to actually just add definition into the actual tassel. Okay. So this will help us out here in a minute. Let that dry. Okay, now let's go in with our mix here. So I'm going to use my big thick brush, big boy, put a drop of this in the glaze just to thin it out some. Alright, so let's see what we got here. It's a bit opaque. So just another drop of glaze. Thing about the glaze, we need to remember though, when we use it, it's going to dry shiny. Come on. Get ready to give me a booger. Booger! Alright. So we'll have to use matte varnish to get rid of that. So I want to thin it out just a tad bit more. Hopefully it'll respond the way we need it to respond. Okay. Now, essentially, in theory, when I start painting her with this, it should mute everything together, but still have her highlights. So we're going to start here. And actually, I'm going to bring this down and blend it where the contrast meets. Try to try to obscure the line a little bit more of where she is forming out of the smoke. So bring this onto that face. I'm trying to avoid the eyes, but I got it in the mouth. It goes so many ways with that comment. Okay. And, it's working, as I could tell, but it's not working as far as like going, I figured it wouldn't, trying to blend the two lines together, which is fair. Okay. She is glazed. All right. How's she looking there, fellas? Any ladies? All right. What color should we paint this hair? The smoke is a turquoise. Thought about red. Here's the thing though, with her hair, it has no definition at all. It's a problem. It's smooth like smoke, if you notice. So I don't know whether I should make it look like smoke. Maybe I should make it look like the smoke she's coming out of. I don't know. I'll figure it out here in a minute. So let's get our nickel. Okay. Now this, I have not really shook this paint in since Sunday. So let's see what it comes out as. I mean, that's no medium separation whatsoever. And again, that is how these craft paints are designed, to have that thick medium so you don't have to worry about it separating on the shelf. Now, I am going to thin it down with my homemade Lanham medium. Okay. Alright. Go. Try to get it mixed in there really well. Now I'm going to get all this scale. It's what this is, a scale mill over her crotch area. Now, this isn't a Vallejo Air Metallic, which we all know those Vallejo Air Metallics are literally liquid metal. But, I mean, if all you can afford is craft paint, that should not keep you from painting miniatures. I mean, again, I started painting miniatures. I did buy a lot of stuff from the comic shops as far as like getting actual Citadel paint. But like when I started living on my own and I couldn't afford that stuff, I realized, hey, I could get this craft paint. And I painted many of a Warhammer army with it and characters for D&D. So far looking good. Okay, we've got an owl on her shoulder. A little bit of this scale mill right here. Wish I could have found this miniature in metal. Oh my gosh. It's so epic. Okay. Okay. There we go. Let's see here now. Let's go to the sword. I think I'm going to do the scabbard. It's raised up here in the back. So I'm going to do this main part silver and then this part gold. So we're going to come in here. See, you can see how thin that is where I thinned it down. And that really is where I put a lot of medium in there. I wanted it thinner anyway. If you know anything about craft paint, the medium it's in is kind of rubbery, which is good. But like, it will dry thick. It doesn't thin out for anything. That's why you have to thin these paints out. Again, we're just shooting for tabletop standard here. And plus, you can find really cool colors, metallic colors at least, in these craft paints that you can't find in other paints like... Well, Turbo Dork is actually coming out with a lot of paints that that kind of remind me of it, but like a white pearlescent. I mean, you can't really find that in model paint at all. So, let's see here. We'll let that dry now. Let me get the white out. No, I did not put that on there today. I did not list it in the thing because this was, I literally made this like 5 seconds before we started. This is a 20 ml bottle right here. I filled it up to about here. Let me show that a little bit better. Up to about here with water, and then I put the rest was matte medium, and I shook it up. That's all it is. Okay, white, where'd you go, white? Oh, there you are. Okay. See, I'm used to shaking everything up, but look how creamy that comes out. It's so creamy. Oh, remember, we've got a Kickstarter going on right now, guys, for Troll Lords. 5th edition, Monsters and Treasures of Baird. 6 days left. If I didn't tell you, Tim would kill me. Okay. Alright, so here we go. This color here. And I'm going to use my big fat brush right now, because I need to get some coverage here. So I'm painting that cloth. Get down. Hear a child yelling. My oldest, she's 14 and insane. Her birthday's next month. She'll be 15. She is mad because she plays the trumpet in the marching band, and the school just announced that they will not be going to Korean Nationals, which she's in comp band. And the thing is, though, a lot of people don't realize that our band in this area, we are national champions for band. So she just did the Rose Bowl parade in January. I was in California with her. But she's a little frustrated. So I'm going to go down to a smaller brush now. Okay. That one didn't taste good, guys. Okay, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to paint this white. I don't know why I'm painting it white. I just thought I would paint it white. Because I'm figuring that she's a genie. White's hard to keep clean in the desert. And she could be like, look, man, I am a genie. Look how clean this is. And I just really did that. Did I really just do that to the face? Ah. Yep. I had to move it. Yep. That's what happens. Get a slip of the brush. There we go. Okay. So. But, yeah. I'm a genie. I magically keep my whites white. We watched Hamilton Friday on Disney Plus, and this just reminds me of the conversation with my son. We were sitting there, and as we were watching it, the only question he really asked, he's 10, how did they keep their shirts so white? I said, well, son, we haven't gotten to that point in American history yet that we're learning, but we're going to talk about that in the period we call the Civil War. So they didn't keep their whites white, somebody else did. That was not a slight towards anybody, but he seriously asked that question. So this little piece right here, I'm going to paint it white for right now. But I don't really know what to paint it. Maybe blue? Yeah. Let her dry a little bit there. What's really cool about, I love how they use stuff like Hamilton to get kids interested in history, because I think history is very important. I got to tell my kids about the Sons of Liberty and the Green Dragon in Boston because of that. The Boston Tea Party. And how the reason why we threw that tea overboard was mainly because the guys that did it were smugglers, and they smuggled tea in, and the British lowered the cost of tea so they could compete with the smugglers, and the smugglers didn't like that. But that's another part of history. Alright. I want to smooth out this, and the way I'm going to do it is with ink. Yes, I have to use white ink sometimes. Don't get it on me. It's not because the white paint isn't that great. It's just I would have to put so many layers, and I'm trying not to get brush strokes. And I'm just so used to using white ink. And if I don't do it, it'll really bother me. That is bright. Okay. How many people we got in chat right now? Three! People, get out there and share this. Come on, I'm not that boring. Okay, so let's let the boobs dry. Let's get out a little bit of this sweet, sweet gold. It's bothering me, guys. Only 3 people in there. It really doesn't bother me. Okay, so we're going to come in here and kind of make it look like, you know, they come in and plated this thing gold. The upper parts here, around the eyes. Okay. A couple coats with that. We're going to do the same thing up here on this owl, but we're going to put it on the nose. We're not going to put it on the bottom parts of his eyes. Just put it on the top parts. Okay. Now, come back in here. I don't thin the gold down because I really like this gold the way it is. It goes on fairly thin anyway. It doesn't obscure a lot of detail. Is Willie still on? Mr. the Rat? What's going on? I think so. Daughter's coming upstairs. I wonder if she's gonna bust in here and be like, Dad! They did. But genies, in the Muslim tradition, from what I understand, see, my ink leaked a little bit. Genies were kind of like, from what I understand, kind of like demons or angels. I'm not really sure. Like, they were tricksters, and they are in the Muslim religion, from what I gathered. Okay, I need to expand that out on the side boob. Just now saw that there. Okay. Which means I need to come out here with this white. So they believe genies are real. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Get these red tassels here. Alright. Where my gold dries. Up here. I think she needs gold right here. She's wearing these little, looks like bracelets. Is this camera position working this week, guys? Yeah. And, I'll change that. I want to do a different color. Okay. So let's get that. I'm going to paint the hand grip chestnut brown here in just a second. If y'all been paying attention to the news from Wizards of the Coast this week. So what's going on now is all the old first, second, third, and fourth, and even some 5th edition modules that can be purchased through Drive-Thru RPG or GM's Guild or DM's Guild now have a disclaimer that they were written during a time when we weren't as woke as we need to be. Yeah, they won't take it down because they make, and I have a theory that they make so much money from this that if they were to take it down, they could not keep printing 5th edition. I think that's how many older players they are. They're not going to fully step on toes because that they know that those people there are buying those PDFs, buying the print-on-demand stuff, and they know that there's money there. And that I personally think if you ever watch the 5th edition sale on Amazon, the books normally retail for what, $50 in a comic shop. But they sometimes, especially at Christmas, drop them down to like $20 a piece, and they float around $30, but yet they retail for $50. So, are they making up that money with the older stuff? Because I'll tell you this, us people that pay, and I only say this because I'm older. As a younger guy, I didn't have a lot of money. But being older, I have more disposable income, and therefore I can buy the stuff I want to buy, and I kind of live. I mean, I kind of like push my politics with my money because, like, if I don't like it, what they're doing as a company, I won't send them money. But like, I think they're afraid of that. I really are. That they'll go so far, but they won't go all the way. That sounded weird. They will go so far, but they won't go all the way. As I paint a booby woman. This is how I refer to her all afternoon at the house. Because I normally don't paint. Okay, and the reason being is I have a daughter. Okay, and she's been playing D&D with me since she was a little kid. And I try to find, whenever I was looking for miniatures for her, I always look for miniatures that, you know, made me think that, you know, she would be like, oh, this is a lady dressed as a knight and she has full armor on, or you know, something that she wouldn't see that the women were objectified. So I normally stay away from miniatures like this because it kind of bothers me a little bit. But I did tell him, I said, listen, this is the only miniature I could find at the time that had the big enough head for me to paint without ordering it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to paint this miniature and I'm going to do my very best. Like I tell my kids all the time, do your best, kids, no matter what. And that's what I'm attempting to do. I'm attempting to make this one of the best miniatures I ever painted in 2 hours. We got 50 minutes to mostly finish this miniature. Yeah. Okay, so we got a little bit of this chestnut brown, aka leather brown. Look at that. Mix it with a little bit of this medium here. Look at that. Look how good that's coming out right there. It's not thin at all. Alright, so we're gonna, she's got this little bracer right here, so I'm gonna paint that brown. It's gonna be leather, but she's got these beads wrapped around it, so I'm gonna try to figure out how to make those look like a stone of some sort. Maybe blue. That'd look kind of cool. Maybe a lapis color. And she's got this owl on her shoulder that I have yet to attempt to paint. So, but again, her name is Booby Woman. She's got 3 owls on her. Yeah, I guess we could call her Hooter. Hooter the genie. I wonder what 15-year-old designed this model. And dear Reaper, if you're watching this, please don't get upset. I like to joke about stuff. And if you want to sponsor me, that'd be okay. I'll paint all the booby women you want me to paint. Okay, look at there. We got that. Now let's get this this hand grip on this sword. This is made from the finest lamb skin leather that this genie could find. So like in real life, or like the best color? I don't know. Black hard leather is what I've always been told. Because you're wanting it, when you wrap it, you kind of want it to shrink. You don't want it to be too soft because it'll get loose. Okay, there's that. Alright. So, let's go back over here. Let's get our gold out again. Because I forgot, we got to paint this guy. I did today have to go to fabric shop because my daughter's they announced school being back in session, and so she wants to make her some really cool face mask. And I know what she's gonna do. She's gonna get up there and she's gonna be like, look how cool my face mask look. And then everybody's gonna be like, wow, I want a face mask like that. And she's like, okay, $20. It's my kid. Anyway, they had some paint, some more craft paint, and I was like, man, do I need to buy any more metallics? I should have bought a bronze. It would look better, but I'm trying to stay towards all the craft paints here. So let's see here. Let's go back over here. Okay, come back over here. Where we at? Alright, so let's get this face of this owl here with this gold. Mold lines. I hate you. Ah, crap. I forgot the reason why I put that gold on there in the first place. Right there. Okay. Alright. More gold. Okay. Go back to the white. We're going to, she's got a white flower here, white flower here. This might be a bit too much white since I painted that one cloth white. These are those little flowers. Yes, it's like she's got a butt crack. So funny. They're going to cover it up with a sword. Okay, let's get that around the edge there. Okay, let's see here. This dry, so we can put another coat on that. Let's work on the boobs again. So let's go over here. She has this big bunch of flowers in her hair. I'm gonna go ahead and paint those white and get that, even the leaves on this here white. Just thinking here. Idea. Let that dry. Go back to the silver. Okay, I wanted to do these little beads here, silver. Okay. And then let's see here. Any more silver I need to touch up? This bothers me. Okay, yeah, I got some butt silver. She's got these coin-looking things right above her butt crack. Hush. Did everybody have a good holiday? At least shoot off fireworks. Okay. Man, y'all are quiet tonight. Come on, Willie. Ask me some questions. Okay. Blowing stuff up. Went to my mother-in-law's and cooked out and hung out with family. I know I kind of gobbed this onto this little lamp, but it'll dry thin. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. We're gonna make a lapis color. Lapis is a dark blue, so this primary blue will work. What do we got? I got purple over here. It's a midnight blue, actually. Midnight blue. Let's do this midnight blue. This is an older paint, so let's see how it comes out. Come on. Oh, he's clogged. Yeah, look at that. It's 3D. That's how his clogs work. Alright. So this one's not mixed up like I'd want it to be. That's okay. I probably had that one in my drawer for about 3 years now. Okay, so it's more of a glaze now because I didn't mix it up very well. So let's move some of this white in here. Dry out here in a minute. Let's go back to my silver. Okay. Some feathers here on the bird. This gold again. Okay. Now, for the ring. Huge fucking ring on our finger. Okay. Keep rubbing it off right there. That didn't sound right. Okay. I keep rubbing the paint off the thing because I don't have this on a holder. Let's fix that. Okay. This is where we're at. We'll take a little bit of this lavender that I've mixed up and we'll paint in this piece right here a little bit. Give it some color. Okay, we'll take a little bit of this red, and I'm going to put in the eyes of said owls. Okay. Kind of make them like a gemstone, because it's in down, you can still see the metallic to it a little bit. Okay. Now, fun part. Let's see here. What did we mix up last time? We mixed up this gray contrast that we made, aka not really gray. I call it. It's my take on the Apothecary white. So I'm gonna use my dropper to get some of this out. So I kind of avoid bubbles in it. So I'm going to put a little bit of it on this white here. Fill it in. Okay, get some definition. I'm going to put some on the flowers. Put too much on that flower. Okay. I may repaint those flowers. I'm thinking about painting them yellow. Okay. Yeah, that's probably what I'll end up doing. Alright. So let's let this dry here. My homemade contrast paint. Okay. There. Yeah. Okay. Pull that up there. Okay. Some on the bottom of the boobies to give it a little bit of shading underneath it. On the, I guess the correct term for that is underboob. Oh, Davis, if you listen, we want an adventure called In the Shadow of the Underboob. Somebody get on that. We need artwork. It'll be under the covers adventure. Oh, that one went over his head. Let's see here. Okay, so let's talk about hair. I freaking hate hair. How are we going to do this? Let's wait. Let me think about this. Okay, I'm going to take some of this soft tone. A little bit there. A little bit of my homemade medium. I'm going to thin this down. Okay. Let's see how much this colors it. Alright. So here's where we ruin the miniatures, guys. I'm going to come in and I'm going to wash her leg. 30 minutes. And I want to be able to get her hair done. Okay, let's soak that up right there. Now we come in here in the shadow of the underboob. I'm going to paint some of this gold with this as well, because that'll add some definition to the gold. I do enjoy using flesh tones to wash my gold in. Let's see here. I see some spots I have to fix. Get her armpit. Can't forget her butt crack. It's gotta be darker than the rest of her. I missed a lick on my face on that one. Okay, now let's go back up to the boobs. Okay, we're gonna put some of this on the boobs. Now, okay, so now I am going to take this, even though we did her face, I am going to take some of this over because I do want to tone her face, bring her color down some. So I am going to essentially wash her face with this, and this will help out in certain areas around the eyes. We don't want it to pull up anywhere in particular, but we want to go around her face as well. So let's see here, get it out of the corner of her eyes because she does not have pink eye. Okay. So how are we looking so far, guys? That's what she said. Okay, let's go in here a little bit. I did that tan flesh base coat. Alright, so let's come back over here on this soft tone. I'm going to start hitting some of the leather with it. I do have a leather wash I would use, but I'm trying to keep her a little muted here. So now what I'm going to do is hit the gold with this. Let's go a little darker this time, because on this metal. Okay. So, because that gold is a little bright, I do have to say. And I'm going to tone down the silver as well. I'm going to fill in those lines with the wash. I know it's about time because I'm getting hungry. Okay. I don't want this to dry too bad. A little more darker on this gold here. Come in here on the owl. Give this a wash. And this owl. Oh, here. That's a solid. I guess on my brush. Okay, now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add a little bit more color to the brassiere. So I wear camouflage cargo shorts when I paint or when I work around the house. It's because like I always clean my brush on my pants and you can't tell. Come on guys, that was funny. Okay, so we're going to come in here with some white. Well, maybe. No, this is paint. Get it to... Maybe I should wait for that to dry. I'll have to come back. Let's dry it out a little bit. Okay. Put a little bit of gold around this tassel. Try to quit rubbing that gold off on that stupid thing. Alright. Now we're going to come back in with our ink in a minute when this dries. I've got to base coat this hair in something. Alright. Toasted marshmallow. Nope. Base coat ivory. 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 I'm gonna leave it a little thick. I'm gonna see how this goes on. Now this is a satin finish, this color is. So we need to get around all these flowers and junk. Ivory. That's how we say it in the South. I don't have pearl though. I didn't buy it. Well, it would have mica powders in it. Pearlescence, it would shine because it's got mica powders in it. You get your metallics are going to be satin. You want your paint though to be as matte as possible. I say the mattest paint I've ever seen is scale 75. I mean, they're known for how matte their paint is. You think it's almost chalk as it dries. That's how matte it gets. Other. So what we're doing now is we're taking this toasted marshmallow color and we're putting it all over the hair, and this is just to even it out because we've got other colors all over the hair already. Okay. This is kind of to get us an undercoat. And it could be where we end up stopping for the night, depending on how long we can get this coat in here. This is thick. It's a little too thick for this. It's not flowing very well. Because I do want it to be smooth. I saw something crazy being advertised on Fantasy Grounds. They were actually advertising a Troll Lords product. Yeah, I know. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's crazy. Thank you. Man, I don't work for Troll Lords, but I love their stuff. Oh, I did forget to point out, she's got pointy ears and it's sticking out on this one side of her head. I'll have to clean that up here in a minute. No, I got tide marks. Great. On the boobs. See? Let's get a little bit of that out here. I have to clean it up. Booby tide marks. That's not good. What I'm trying to do is try to use a little bit more of the wash to loosen up the tide line. That'll help out a little bit there. Great. Just trying to get the hair all one color. All one color. It'd been nice if they hadn't glued this thing together and let me glue it together. We could have airbrushed for days. Again, she's very wavy. Very smooth. No definition to the hair. Who knows, if I get this color on it, I could use that turquoise contrast paint again. That would actually look different because the undercoat is different. But I don't want to get it everywhere. You don't have a lot of good brush control with it. Come on, booby lady. That's fine. Get this hair did. Remember, guys, I got a Patreon. If you want to get early access to some of this stuff, give me input, get input. I'm thinking about expanding my $30 a month Patreon to do, if you want me to paint one of your miniatures. For $30 a month, you get one miniature painted. You want a primer and a wash, that's about it. Let's see here. I'm gonna go back over these beads here a little bit. I'm gonna touch them with this right here, and then I'll go back over them with that blue again. Okay, let's go back over to my booby glaze that I made earlier. I mean my flesh glaze. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Where are those lines? Okay. Oh, I was so proud of those boobs. Alright. That's horrible. Guys, I'm not going to tell you what my producer said in my ear. Okay, so we're going to let this hair dry. I don't think I can do much more with this hair tonight. So, where do we think we're at? Where do we stand, guys, so far? I'll post some pictures a little bit later on the Facebook. Especially after I get her hair did. I am going to do this. I'm going to come back over with the ink. I'm going to go back over the tops of these right here. I don't like how they turned out dirty. See the difference in the ink is magical. Okay, there's where we're at so far. I think it's going to be our stopping point tonight. We got 13 minutes, guys. Quick, questions. Anyone, questions? Give me all your questions right now. I don't hear a lot of questions. Maybe running multiple colors through her hair might be interesting. Yeah. Here's some of the details. I've got to go back in and fix her middle of her chest a little bit. And see, there's areas I've got to fix on her skin where the wash pulled up a little bit. And outside the flesh tones and the contrast colors, almost every bit of this was with craft paint. Didn't have no pigment issues. I don't know what y'all talking about, pigment issues. Oh, gonna have pigment issues. Oh no. Just kidding, guys. I just give y'all a hard time. But yeah, no, I mean, I've had bad craft paint. Don't get me wrong. It's just that once you learn how to work with it, it's good. It's fine. If you're never gonna airbrush, and there's some guys that swear that they can get it to airbrush. I can't. I've never figured out a way that I could do that correctly. Sorry, I'm just getting my paint organized over here real quick. This is the paper from last week, and it's still, well, when I pulled it off, you can still see it was wet. I took it off earlier today. I hadn't painted since, well, outside of using the airbrush since last week. So, but yeah, guys, I mean, craft paint can be used. The only thing about craft paint, we'll talk about it here just real quick, is if you notice, though, it is matte. This is a green. This is ivy, English ivy green, which is kind of, to me, a little brown as well. But because of the matteness and the colors, it looks cheap, but it's not. So it looks kind of like it has white and everything, but like it's that toasted marshmallow. This is that chestnut color. But what that is where I've got that so matte, where this is, I made sure I got the mattest I could get. So that's what matte paint should look like. No shine to it at all. And most acrylic that you've got right now is going to have a little bit of a shine to it. Like model paint will have a little bit of a shine to it, unless you get scale 75. That's why it's weird looking, and stuff. So yeah, I mean, look at this yellow. I mean, I don't know how well that's going to cover over. I mean, it's wide, it's over, but I mean, that was just a drop. And you know, I'm going to use this to dry brush with a little. I thought about dry brushing her highlights yellow. That's a quick and dirty way to make a blonde, is to take a brown like Xandri dust or this marshmallow, and then if you do Xandri dust, she'll be a dirty blonde. If you do like this color, ivory color, it'd be more of a platinum blonde. But you go and hit it with the dry brush, and it would just build up that yellow. And it would be blonde on there. But yeah, those matte colors, they're awesome. They're great. The matter the better. So and that's the thing, though. The only problem with these, as you see that I was running into with the gold, is that it rubs off fairly easy. Now I have not tried these apple barrels as primer yet. This is what I was using as primer for a while, and I got to where I didn't like it. So it's still good for using on terrain. Now I will tell you, this week has been so weird. Okay, so I decided that I was going to paint you all a house, and I got my printer out and started 3D printing a Tudor style house. Midway through the print, I probably had about 2-3 hours left on the print. It'd been printing for 24 hours. Power flip just for a second, stopped in mid print. Okay, so I was like, alright, well, then Fat Dragon came out with a new free model this week, and it was of a knight with a sword and a billowing cape. So I was like, oh, I'm going to print that guy out on my resin printer, and then we are going to paint him as well. With Our Lady here, and the model stuck to the FEP film, and when it did, it ripped a hole in my film and resin poured out of my tank. So I mean, I've got most of it cleaned up. I got replacement FEP film going to be here tomorrow. I ordered a couple upgrades for my regular printers as well. I'm going to try out these things called a TL smoother. It's supposed to actually make the lines a little bit smoother on your printer. But yeah, dude, guys, I was just trying to get some really cool stuff to paint this week. And outside of painting her, I really wanted to use the craft paints on that house just to show you. One of the reasons why I got that marshmallow color was that main color that you get on the walls of a Tudor house, you know, and I thought it was going to look pretty cool, but you know, obviously it didn't turn out the way I wanted it. So, but you know, everything works out to its own. I think that given the extra time we got to spend on Holler here, that it turned out fairly well. So, you know, we just now lack her hair and me doing the base, and then figuring out the flowers. I'm thinking about going off of a look of a dogwood flower. I don't know, these are supposed to, I guess, be kind of like flowers you'd find in Hawaii in the lake, so maybe that. I'm just gonna go back and look at it and figure it out. So anyway, if there isn't any questions, class, I guess I'll let you guys go. I love it when y'all ask questions, though. That's why I'm here, to help you all get your stuff to the table faster. Anyway, sorry if y'all can't see my crazy grin. But yeah, and catch me, I guess, Friday night on Norse Foundry's Twitch stream. Hopefully I'll get my miniatures. It looks like he expedited me some miniatures to paint for him. They do the ones that are resin, they're fully posable, which means more than likely what I'll end up doing on his stream is building a miniature and then primering it and maybe doing a Zenithal highlight. Cheap Man Zenithal highlight. I'm gonna do it with I think I might paint his with gesso as my undercoat. I'm not really sure, and then go back in and dry brush Zenithal highlight on it and see how we can do that. Their miniatures are fairly detailed, but they're resin, which are easy to clean up because of the mold lines, and their molds are so clean. The last time I put together one of their miniatures, like the flashing literally looked like hair, and all I had to do is run my finger over and it was gone. Yeah, they've got some really kick rear miniatures. Anyway, alright guys, we got 5 minutes. I guess I will see you guys later. Sorry about the technical difficulties. If you need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Discord. If you need to get onto my Discord, my private Discord to ask me questions, you can send me a private message. But if you want to get on the private Discord, just go ahead and sign up for Patreon. You will be added to the Discord, and we can voice chat, text chat, video chat, whatever type of chat you want to do if I'm free and not working or working on my house. So you all take it easy, and if it's easy, take it twice.